Welcome to What Do You Say, the podcast that peels back the layers of remarkable individuals to reveal their extraordinary sides and their incredible lives. I'm your host, Frank Termini, and I'm absolutely thrilled to embark on this journey with you. The podcast name's What Do You Say, but that's not how it's said.
How do you say it?
We say.
What do you say?
We say.
What do you say?
We say.
What do you say?
You got it. We say.
Hey.
Welcome back to What Do You Say? I'm Andrew, your co-host. As with me as always is Frank T.
What's up, guys?
Please go out there and like, subscribe, leave us a review, and turn on those notifications. So you're updated every time we put out.
Leave a review.
Leave a review. We are waiting for people to leave reviews to tell us how bad the other intros suck. Because if you can't laugh at yourself, then
Can't laugh at anyone.
can't laugh at anyone.
Yeah, give us a comment on the content, too. I actually have had a lot of people call me and comment on the content. That they're, it seems like people are enjoying what we're doing.
So maybe
Tell them don't call you. Just tell them put it on,
It's social media. They
There you go.
DM me.
Yeah.
They DM me.
Yeah, but maybe we should just put your personal number out there.
No, we're not doing that.
No?
No.
I'm going to get a T-shirt with your personal number on it, and then just people can just call it if they want to.
I have a perfect picture for that T-shirt too.
I need it.
All right. So today we got Manuia Savea.
Yes. Welcome.
Manu, you came from. So here, you came from what Samoa,
Yes, American Samoa, the south side of Hawaii.
and you come here to play volleyball,
My whole thing was volleyball.
and you end up playing Division I football, followed by 6 years of NFL football. Never played a down of football in your life.
Well, I did play. I didn't play the football till my sophomore year.
Of college.
No, high school.
So you did play in high school.
My thing from elementary on was volleyball and basketball was big in the island, especially volleyball. And volleyball was number one on my list.
I got to tell you, I love volleyball.
Yes.
I mean, watching Gianna and Gemma and Michelle coach, I love watching volleyball. It is so much fun.
See, and that's the thing about it. Moving here, watching volleyball here, it's totally different from back home.
Why's that?
Playing, with just two strings of rope from one tree to the other tree, barefooted, and that's the fun part about it. Till that was all elementary year there. Till you get to high school and then you finally have some upgraded, what you call equipment there. Now you have brand new pair of tennis shoes, from the love of your family in the States back then. But volleyball to me was one of them sports that keep me humble, because you can be individual, but you can also be a teammate. As you being surrounded by your wife, Michelle, coaching the sports, I'm pretty sure you understand that.
Well, I'm learning more and more. I mean,
is.
I love the sport, and I'm constantly trying to be a sponge and understand what's going on. But so you also, besides that, I want to still finish introducing because you've done more things. You had your own youth football program.
Yes.
You were the assistant offensive lineman coach at St. Thomas Aquinas for how many years? 3?
I was there for 3 years.
And then now you're the head offensive line coach at St. Pius. This will be your third year.
Till the co-host of this show forced me to go to St. Pius, which was amazing. It was great. Yeah, it was nothing wrong with St. Thomas Aquinas. The experience that I learned over here at St. Pius is the same thing. So that's why I didn't. Usually, when you move on like that, either you gain experience or you fall back. But mine though was never
Kind of a lateral move.
It was it was all level headed there, and it was pretty good.
So, okay, so you came to the United States. How old were you?
1993.
1993.
18 years old.
You were
Right after-
Technically, you were in the United States.
Yeah.
You just weren't on the mainland.
Well,
You were in Hawaii, right?
No,
Samoa.
And then I'm gonna tell like
I don't know why I thought Hawaii.
No, it was pretty good.
You're not paying attention to my damn introduction.
Your introduction still sucks.
Yeah, it is. It's Frank. What do you think? It's Frank.
Yeah.
But no, just a little bit so you can understand. American Samoa, though, it was a territory under the United States.
Okay.
Yeah, like Guam.
Yeah.
But Guam, they're what you call, they're U.S. citizens now, but we were U.S. nationals. So when I said from the island, to explain where I'm from, it's just the island south of Hawaii.
Okay.
It's about another 5-hour flight from Hawaii to get to Samoa. Find the globe, Drew, and then you can go look on the globe. I'm serious. It's just a little dot, like just a little dot on the globe. You can't even see it.
It's already 13 hours. Isn't it like 13 hours to Hawaii? So it's like 18 hours
from here to Hawaii is probably that, because it's what, 6 hours from LA.
Yeah.
I think the flight from
here to LA is probably 3.
Yeah. I think the flight from Seattle or Chicago straight through Hawaii is about 8 hours.
Okay, and then you got another 5.
Another five to Samoa.
There's no direct flights probably.
Usually had Pan Am. I don't know if you know the airline Pan Am. Back in the days, they went down, they bankrupt or something, and I think somebody bought it out. Straight flight, 11-hour flight from LA. Yeah.
Really?
That's the flight I usually take, though. Yeah.
It's a long one.
It is. It's a long one. Just watch movies.
For a big man, it's probably even longer.
Don't say big man, though, because I'll be honest with you, though. Maybe we'll get to it, though. When I graduated high school, though, Drew, I was only 145 pounds.
Really?
That's it. Graduate high school. Like I told you, I was big in volleyball and basketball.
So
I was a tight end in high school.
But were you still, you're got to be 6'5".
I'm about 6'3", 6'4" on a good day. Yeah.
So you're playing volleyball, and you came here to play volleyball.
I came here to go play volleyball it's a man's club at Washburn University.
How did you get set up with that?
It was from one of my academic advisor back in the island.
Okay.
And he's the one that he also graduated from Washburn University. It's a beautiful campus. I don't know if you ever been to Washburn University in Topeka.
In Topeka, yeah.
A beautiful campus.
Yes, it is.
So I came here in 93. Things didn't go, I'll be honest with you, though, during my time, back then in school, it was chaotic. I think the system was not up to date, to the standard that it needs to be. That's just an honest truth there. I'm glad that right now is great. Right now is great with the help of all the alumni and people that put in the work to make it, I guess, line up with what's going on in the United States. But going back, when I came here, I was supposed to walk in. Everything was paid for the volleyball.
This is at
Washburn.
Washburn
Okay, so then
University. What happened?
Didn't go that way. I walk in, and then I went and saw the administration first and pull out my name. My name wasn't even in there. I talked to the coach, and then the coach was like, you need to get a hold of people back in the island, that was supposed to do this for you. Can never get a hold of them. You're talking about, this was a time where communication was not very great back home in the island. Yeah. So what I did was I asked, what do I need to do? There you go, 18-year-old kid, and they lay out a piece of paper in front of you. This is how much you have to pay because you're out of state tuition. I look at it like, I'm sorry, I can't. I didn't have no family here. I stayed with a friend in Independence. I grew up with him. Christopher Chelavea was his name. He's still around. He graduated from Washburn because he just came just to go to school. And me and him was like, well, let's go together since I got this and you just want to go to school. So we stayed with his aunt, which is, I always call her my aunt now because she always took care of me for those 2 years, in Independence. So from then on, I just sat out. In 93 and then got married, met my ex-wife now in Independence at church. It seems like ironic you always find a wife at church, So married her in '94, but my goal was still want to go play, go to college. So keep in mind, I wanted to go play volleyball and then also want to play football.
Oh, so you knew you wanted to play football?
Oh yeah, I knew I wanted to play football because here's the deal. Like I said, I was. My first time stepping on the field was in 10th grade.
Okay.
Came in, played as a tight end, tight end. Very first year, man, it was great. I started enjoying it. By the end of my senior year, I was an all-star back in the island. Just played the tight end position. And then I was like, man, I kind of like this sport. That goes along with the volleyball. Yeah. And also I was, playing basketball too at the time. Like I said, those are my two favorite sports was volleyball, basketball. As of right now, I don't know if anybody ever broke that record yet. As a freshman, see, I have to learn a lot of the American culture. In the island, though, Frank, we didn't have JV, we didn't have, C team. It's all one. Your 9th grade to 12th grade, you all try it out. That's all one team. Yeah. So my 9th grade year, playing volleyball and basketball, from my 9th grade to my 12th grade year, took MVP for 4 years straight. 4 years straight for my 2 high school.
Dominated.
And football and...
No, just volleyball and basketball.
Volleyball and basketball, okay.
Remember, I didn't play football till
Your
sophomore year.
Got it.
And then my senior year became an all-star tight end, in the island. I was like, oh, this is pretty neat, So...
And you're still 140 pounds?
I graduated 145, so it was always from 140, 145, 40, 150. Yeah.
So you're in Independence, and you still know, hey, I still want to play volleyball.
Yeah.
I still want to go try to play football.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Next phone call was to my uncle in San Francisco. Yeah, my Uncle Brown in San Francisco. He lives in San Bruno at the time.
Okay.
I was like, listen, I know there's a goal. There's a reason why I'm here, and I don't want to disappoint Mom at the time. There's a reason why she put in the effort and put in the money for me to come and continue not only sports but continued education. Because back home you didn't have anything else after high school. You only have a 2-year college. Just only one college in the island is just a 2-year school. So make a phone call, and then my uncle's like, yeah, there's a community college, City College of San Francisco. That's the name of it. If you guys get an opportunity, look it up. One of the greatest, community college in the whole California area. They were dominating in sports, and also they were dominated in, athlete graduation, at the time. So to make the story short, I packed up, moved my wife in, she was pregnant then, and we went and stayed with my mom that was living in Sunnydale. Yeah, I hope whoever watched the podcast know what Sunnydale is. It is the swamp in San Francisco, one of the biggest ghetto in San Francisco.
Really?
Yes, and it was about 5-7 minutes from the City College of San Francisco.
Okay, so you stay there.
I went and stayed with my mom, with my wife, at the time, and then because he already gave me all the tryout dates for City College for football.
Okay.
I walk in on the tryout dates, with my pair of cleats. I sat down on the bench. Everybody was getting ready for tryout. Coach Rush, that was George Rush. Coach George Rush was the head coach then. Walk up towards me and sat down on my side, and then I introduced myself, and then he's like, yeah, I know about you. I was like, well, how did you know about me? Well, all I know about you because of your uncle. Your uncle was telling me all about you, that you're going to come try out and stuff. During that time, there was a whole bunch of Polynesians in that school.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we have a big group of Polynesians in that school, though, dominant, He handed me a piece of paper. I was like, but I'm going to go back, though, Frank, because you'll probably laugh at it. I didn't know anything about the culture. I didn't, remember I came here in 93, left here in 95 to go try out, go try out for San Francisco. The language, though, I wasn't that very good at it. You know, you could probably still hear me even now. You know, I always have a broken English in me sometimes.
Right.
So he had me a piece of paper. He's like, just sign that piece of paper. Don't put your shoes on. I was like, but I'm here to try out. I'm here. You know, you gotta see me. What, you know, if I fit the program. And I was like, well, do you mind though, Coach? I'm gonna have to give it to my uncle so he can read it. You know, so he can read it and explain it to me, and what that was all about. So after about 10 minutes, my uncle was like, man, he's giving you a 2-year ride to go to school and play football, without seeing me playing, without seeing me try out, without seeing me play. That moment there, I took advantage of opportunity. Yeah, that moment there tells me like, this is the beginning of my story. Yeah, and then I never looked back.
So he, in the locker room, gives you a 2-year full ride.
Full ride.
You hadn't even put your cleats on yet.
I was getting ready to. Yeah, I was getting, and then I always, you know, he's been coaching there at City College for a long time. He finally retired, but it was, to me, I don't know. Maybe he has a feeling or whatever it is, you know, when I walked up, but. As 145, well, here's the deal. You know, I came here at 145. Maybe when I went there, I was, you know, probably up to like maybe 170, 180 after those good 2 years of McDonald's over there in Independence.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So, and then it was looking for a right tackle. Yeah, he knew I played tight end, and he was looking for a right tackle during that time. Like I said, though, practice, start, never try out, so work out, you know, just like what we're doing now in high school. Go through the whole summer program, work my butt off. I'm talking about like, to me, coming from the island where family was very humble, you know, opportunity doesn't come that often. So to me, when that opportunity came, I never turned around. I worked my ass off. Got into school, every football team went home for the summer. I never went home. I stayed, work in the summer, took some summer classes so I can get out of there as soon as I can. You know, went to a year and a half, I graduated from there. So from there, that's another part of this culture, the American culture that I didn't know, is the recruiting part. Frank, I had 20-some offers from Division I from City College of Mississippi.
How were they? So clearly, this coach is calling these D1 schools saying, "Hey, you got to come see this guy."
See, and that's the thing though. Like that's when I learned a lot of the kids that didn't make it to Division I, they go through City College. I mean, they go through community college. By their first year, second year, all of a sudden you have all this Division I on you every time. And I really do believe the reason why my story was different because I didn't play high school ball here. But as looking back to it now, is like some of this Division I school think that they're not ready yet. Take the talent and go, you know, just get some more, some more experience through the junior college, and we'll come back after you.
Well, and you don't have to worry about redshirt. You can go in and you can actually play, and then when they call you up for D1, you know, you've at least got 2 years actual playing.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
and it was man. I always tell that story because it was a great experience for me, and then something that you cannot, you know, when the opportunity presents itself, you got to take advantage of it. You know.
So how many? What schools were all coming after you?
Biggest schools was Nebraska, Minnesota, Cincinnati. I have all the Pac-12 back then. Well, actually, no, the Pac-10. I have all the Pac-10 back then. And Ohio State. Whoa, man, Nebraska and Ohio State was one of my top two there.
And those two schools then, what Nebraska was the cream of the crop.
Yes, it was.
You know what I'm saying?
What's my man's name? The old man, the head coach for Nebraska for the longest time. He was.
I'll see if I can find him.
He's their athletic director. Oh, I mean that guy. You know, Nebraska ran the whole show back then. You know, in the 90s.
I remember in the '90s.
Yeah. They ran the whole show. And then Arizona. So
what? And then you picked what?
You had to pick 5.
But then where did you end up going?
Arizona.
Why did you pick Arizona?
Man, come on, Frank.
The weather?
You get off the plane in the middle of winter and it's 70 degrees. Where you think I'm going to go?
Just for context, from 93 to 97, Nebraska was 60-3.
Yes.
So they got Nebraska has 3 national titles in the 90s. That school was.
Oh man, what's a coach? I forgot. Oh yeah, they were good. So Nebraska was always my top. I was like, I'm going to go there. That's where I'm going to go. Guess where the 5 schools I cut it down with? Cut it down to Cincinnati because Pacelli, remember Tony Pacelli?
Yep.
Tony Pacelli was getting ready to go to draft that year. That was the reason why I picked that school because, like, man, I can go compete for this spot. I cut it down to Cincinnati, Minnesota, Arizona, Ohio, and Nebraska. Yeah.
And you picked Arizona because of the weather.
Because of the weather. Guess where I went first for my visit? Cincinnati. Walk off the plane. Boy, it was cold.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, beautiful campus, though.
Yeah.
Beautiful campus. Boy, it was cold. I was like, man, let me go back home, regroup, and then take another trip. So I make some phone calls, and it's like, man, go to Minnesota, though. Go take a trip in Minnesota. I was like, okay. What happened there? It was colder in Minnesota than Cincinnati.
Now you're 0 for 2.
Yeah, because you have to take this 5 trips during the time, I think within 2 weeks. 2 weeks that you have to take all your 5 trips. I walk out of that plane, man, it was so cold in Minnesota. I was like, man, it's colder over here than Cincinnati. So I went home and talked to my uncle, talked to my family, like, man, I want to go out west. And they were like, well, then let's go to Arizona. Frank, I walk out of that plane, 70 degrees in the middle of the winter. I turn around, talk to my man, Mark Lunsford. I still talk to him even now. I just talked to him last week. He was my recruiter, and he was a coach in Arizona too, though. I turned around and told him, like, Coach, I need my letter of intent. I need to sign it right now. I don't need to take the visit. He's like, well, Manu, you can't do that. You got to go through the process. I'm like, I don't care what you do. You can take me through all this, but this is where I'm going. And he's like, well, you still got 2 more. Did we find? I forgot. Tom Osborne. So Tom Osborne was my recruiter then because Tom Osborne left at 97. I don't know if you guys know that because Tom Osborne retired in 97. So Tom Osborne still called me during the time. It's like, Manu, I know you already committed to Arizona. Just take a weekend and come. We still want to show you the campus. I turned down that trip, and I turned down Ohio State during the time. I just stuck with Arizona. Ended up in 98 playing Tom Osborne and his team in the Holiday Bowl. Yeah, we were, man, Frank, we were balling in 98. We were finished up the season 12-1, finished up the year number 4 in the country, beat Nebraska. They were number 9 then, in the Holiday Bowl. Yeah.
So you end up going to Arizona, or was it Arizona State?
Arizona.
You go to Arizona.
Frank, those are some fighting words, though, Frank. You never mention Arizona State to an Arizona alumni.
That's no good.
Yeah. It goes back and forth.
So
That's a great rival.
Is this you here, Manu?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. You were stout, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
I was, like that picture there with Callahan right there. He was a great running back. That picture there, I say I was about 295 something. Yeah.
Man, solid.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the process of, you decide to go to Arizona and, how many guys do you have ahead of you? Do you take any of that into consideration?
Yes, it is. It is, though, because I came in and then Jose Portilla during the time was getting into the draft, a right tackle. And then he got drafted 4th round, went to Atlanta that year. So like I said, I have to learn all this before I cut down my visits because I don't want to go somewhere where there is a star. I'm going to have to go sit behind it.
Right.
Don't take me wrong. I would love to because I'm a competitive person. I would love and compete. I would love to go and compete. But when Jose Portilla got drafted there, that's when like, man, I'm going to go to Arizona. This is a perfect fit. The weather was perfect, There's a spot. So when I got there, we had 1, 2, 3. There was 3 guys, and then me 4. Those 3 guys was already there, So I came in that summer, or actually no, was in January, because I graduated early, so I could be there in January for all the beginning of workouts. I came in and then, man, busted my ass though, Frank, to beat. There's a good friend of mine in the Usu, half Tongan, half Samoan. He was in front of me. My man Idaho, that was his. It's actually McFadden was his last name. He's from Idaho. He was in front of me, and then we have a guy. I forgot my man's name. So the whole time, I love my friends during the time, but business was business for me. Yeah, I'll be friends with you after the gym. I'll be friends with you after workout, but I have a goal. My goal was to come in and prove to the coaches, prove to Dick Tomey, you didn't waste a scholarship on me.
Right.
That was my whole goal, And of course, going to City College San Francisco, I learned a lot about college life, Yeah, of course, you always have distraction. You always have parties. There's no doubt about it. I learned a lot from it, though. When I went to Arizona, even Coach Rush was preparing me for it. Like, Manu, what you see over here is nothing compared to those Division I schools. So he was preparing me for it. So by the spring of '97, I was already number one guy on the right tackle spot. And like I said, though, for example, what I told you in City College San Francisco, everybody go home in the summer. Go home in the summer, spend time with their family, which, absolutely is a great thing to do. Get out, not me. I stay. I work out. I work out the whole summer. I even took some classes in the summer, just to be ready for, when fall comes. So, and when Coach Dick told me, Charlie Dickey, well-known name for offensive line coach. He's over there in Oklahoma State now, being with Utah, won that championship, beat Alabama, remember? He was a O-line coach there. Like I said, still talk to those guys even now. Still talk to Coach Dickey and stuff. Great father figure for me during the time. So when he gave me that opportunity of the starting spot there for my next 2 years in Arizona, like I said, it's never looked back. Yeah.
How hard was it to adjust to the speed of the game?
It wasn't that hard. And I'll tell you the reason why it wasn't that hard. One thing for me, though, when I really think that's why I always give it to volleyball and basketball. It was my footwork. I'm not going to lie to you, though. Here's the deal that we missed, though, Frank, when I was over here in Kansas City. I was an amateur boxer in Kansas City. I was a Kansas City heavyweight, during the time, Golden Gloves.
Okay.
So those 3 sports, to me, really helped me on my footwork in college, because that is one of the biggest thing about playing football. It's about footwork. Yeah. Any other thing technique-wise will always come, but footwork is the reason why you gotta have good footwork. Is your technique is never going to be good if your footwork is not going to be good, and you should know that. You're in the business of it. So the speed of the game was never bothered me, though. It was never a big adjustment for me.
Because you were neutralizing the technique.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
So, Manu, how do you go from 170 pounds in San Francisco to 270 pounds in Arizona?
Good question.
What about creatine that time?
I mean,
oh, come on, creatine.
No, I'm not going to lie to you, Frank. And that was a great question, because I was going to get to it, though. When I got to Arizona, they put me on a program. It's a creatine. They want me to weigh at least 200-something pounds. So
you walk into Arizona sub 200. So
from the 2, like I said, when I left here, I was probably like 170 then, 180. Though my 2 years in San Francisco, for those 2 years, I went up to like 2-something. I think I went to Arizona, I was like maybe 235. Okay. 235, 240.
Okay.
Because I was gaining that weight from San Francisco. they put me in a program in Arizona, though. It was creatine. Man, I'll tell you what, though. I had to drink this sucker with probably 2 gallons of water. By the time my first season, the 97 season, by the time our first game started, I was 275. 275, 280, 280 in 97. And, they put me on creatine for, I believe, was that whole summer that I stayed there. And then when I gained my weight, plus, I was working out a lot.
Yeah.
With that muscle weight. Once I gained that weight, once I got to where they want me to be, then creatine was cut off. Yeah. But I never questioned. I don't even know. Even now, I don't even know what's in the damn thing. I don't even know. I don't even know what creatine is. I walk in. He already prepped the powder, put it in a cup of water, drink it, and go work out.
So what about food?
I was eating everything I can.
Just whatever you wanted to eat, you ate.
Yes. Yeah.
Your metabolism was probably on fire, and
yes. Yeah. He told me though, and because I asked the question like, well, is this a diet or what it is? What this is? It's like, no, you can eat anything you want. Because plus and I can see it going back now. I could because I was working out every single day. The only day I took off was Wednesday, Sunday. Yeah, those are the only days off from working out, running. So you're burning all that, whatever it is that you put in your body during that time.
So I'm assuming there was a conversation at some point where they said, okay, volleyball's done.
Well, volleyball was done for me, though, ever since that opportunity San Francisco gave me for football, volleyball was done. But it wasn't done, though. Because when I was in Arizona, guess what I was doing in the summertime?
Playing volleyball.
Sand volleyball.
My wife said it's a great workout.
It is. That was another thing, though, it helped me a lot. Me and my man, Mike Lucky, though, what's his called? He was my sand court volleyball partner. And we used to travel because they have tournament. We would go to Phoenix, we'd go to Seattle, and we were real good at it. We were real good at that sand court, And that was
had to help with footwork, too.
It is. And that's what I'm saying, though, even now, Frank, I'll have to make you come watch one of the workouts that I've done with the linemen, with my lineman clinics. It's all about footwork. It's all about footwork and technique. And I really think, there's a person that was, and I don't want to say it because of me, because I know his work ethic is great. Kyler. I really think Kyler being in that program last year really helped him a lot.
We got a shout out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We got to give a shout out to the Pius wrestlers.
Yes, I saw that.
We got Kyler. Kyler took fourth. Ryland took first.
I think there were 7 of them.
Rott took first.
7 of them in state?
5 of them won. Ryland Kuhn won. Jack Rotterman won.
Yeah.
Marco. How do you say Marco's last name?
Yeah, see, Coach sent out a picture. There was.
Yeah, I got it on my Facebook page.
There's 5 of them.
5 of them that took first and 7 that went.
Yeah, 5 of them. They took.
Gonzo Gonzalez didn't win.
Yeah.
I think he took second. I think Chisholm took second. But
here's the deal, though. 215. That was Ryland.
Gable Gross.
Gabriel.
He won.
Yeah.
And there's one other kid.
That was good.
Wasn't a football player though.
No.
But he won. But they sent 7 and 5 took it home.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It is. It is awesome, though. Congratulations to those kids.
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
And
Congratulations, guys.
The coach, what the coach did for that program, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I want to get
huge because I don't ever remember St. Pius bringing that many to state, and that being they're actually a team that can actually compete as a team now because wrestling is an individual sport, but in high school that you also have a team score.
Mm-hmm.
So
hold on, their team score they won. They won Wednesday night by the team score.
Yeah, they by Wednesday night
they had already won by Wednesday night. They destroyed everyone,
and they only had they as you compete as a team. I think there's maybe now I could be wrong. I want to say there's 10 or 12 weight classes roughly.
Yeah.
So if they won one state as a team with 7 already, they're competing.
There you go, Marco, and it's spelled. I'm going to try and Delakishvili. I think he's Russian.
He's the one who took the 144 weight.
Yeah, he's a stud. You could look at him and be like,
Yeah.
this guy wrestles.
This guy eats nails.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like don't mess with me.
Sweetheart of a kid. He's
Yeah.
a sweetheart of a kid, but he's a stud
Gotta
wrestler.
put you in a headlock real quick.
I can take you down with my back facing towards you.
And he doesn't play football?
No, he played.
Oh, he
Oh
did?
yeah, he played. Yeah.
He
Okay.
played his senior year, just this last year, just because his buddies played.
Yeah.
But and he was productive. I mean, he's an athlete. He's a state championship wrestler.
Yeah, that's not an easy feat.
And you know the thing about it though, like that's what I always tell my kids now. You know, kids that come around me for football, I always encourage them that go wrestle.
Absolutely.
I learned a lot from wrestling. Even my own son, I was like, go wrestle. You'll be surprised how much mobility you're going to get, how much leverage you're going to get. I'm telling you, it's a
There's
great,
a reason why wrestlers make great football players.
Thank
I mean,
you. That's exactly right.
You know, the block destruction nowadays.
And there's a reason why a basketball player makes a great receiver. You know, they just translate real well. You know, and that's why Mahomes was a pitcher.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he was a great baseball player.
Yeah. I think his dad was a major leaguer.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't he?
I think he is.
He grew up in the locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's amazing. You know.
Congratulations, guys.
no, that was all. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome for them.
Those guys worked their ass off.
Yeah.
So you then start 2 years at Arizona,
Yeah.
and how far? How does the seasons go for those 2 years?
So the first year was, finish up number 4 in the country. We
big.
went 12-1, finish up big. And then the following year, we missed the bowl game by one. We think we finished up 6-7 or 6-8. So it was a big drop down for us, in 1999.
I got to ask this question.
Yeah.
So, talking about your size and your growth, if you think back to 97, 98, 99, that's when the McGuire that's McGuire Sosa era was.
Oh, that
Yes.
was in the 2000s, wasn't it?
No, Frank.
Frank, yeah.
I
It
think
was
it-
during that time.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Supplements were a uncharted territory. Did you see guys in college taking all sorts of different supplements?
That's one thing, though. I never seen anybody of my teammates take supplements. The only thing that I'm telling you, though, like
Creatine?
what I thought was, like it was creatine.
Yeah.
I thought it was steroids because
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. I was just doing what I was told just to get the weight.
Sure.
It was creatine, but I never seen anybody, and that was never around. And we were real close. We were a real close group of guys.
I would have assumed otherwise. I really would have, because I'm D1 athletes in that time. I would think, maybe the coaches kind of were like,
Remember LeVar Arrington? That
Yeah.
name, that
Oh, yeah.
name ring the bell?
Yeah.
And then Brown, he was a defensive end at Penn State. I swear to you, 1999, we were playing in the Big Skin Classic with Penn State. I really thought that guy was on steroids.
Steroids.
LeVar Arrington. He was a
Massive.
hell of a player, though.
yeah.
Heck of a player, man. And Brown, defensive end. That's when I'm not gonna lie to you. Out of my 2 year in college, I really think that's a guy that gave me hell.
Really?
I really have to fight him, because I'm one of them person. I'm very competitive.
Right.
In the back of my head, I understand the game. You're not gonna win it all, but I'm talking about when win it all. That guy was giving it to me. I'm not gonna know. And I still watch some of the old footage against him. Great guy when the wingspan. I'm not gonna. He stands straight up and the freaking hands just hang over his knees.
Like
Yeah.
Jay Sean.
Oh yeah, there you go. Like Keyshawn. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then
excited to see him play in college. I really am.
I think he's going to dominate.
I think he's going to be great.
I hope.
I think he's going to dominate.
I hope
And
so.
I think like if I had to bet,
Hold
I
on.
bet he could end up being the best edge player in the NFL.
Yep.
I bet he could end up being the best edge player in the NFL.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think he's that good. And I think literally, Jay Sean hasn't even kind of tapped into his potential because the one weakness that he has is he is only going to play as good as he has to play.
Yeah.
If he
So
wants
now-
to. Yeah.
And so now, when he has to go against the baddest of the bad,
He's gonna raise up.
he's going to raise up and
He's
he's
gonna
going
it's gonna elevate him.
Yeah.
Sometimes people play down to their competition.
I mean, everybody does it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody
Yeah.
has a tendency to do that.
But here's
You
the
know.
thing, though, with Jay Sean now is like you're going against the best of the best in your, in Alabama right now.
Yeah, right.
Wait till you go see Georgia.
Yeah.
Wait till you go come see Missouri. Wait, that's when like because you go against your teammates this whole time, so you kind of get used to it. But to me, where it really changed is when you start going against your somebody else.
Yeah.
because that's their number one.
exactly because that's their number one guy.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a stud.
Oh,
I was going to ask that. I didn't want to bother Coach Bear with it though, but I wonder how he feel because Saban left.
You know what? I think Bear was excited that guy from Washington came in.
Came in, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's a fresh start for the program.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm sure Saban had his favorites. Every coach has, I won't say favorites, but guys that he knows that he can rely on. And now with this new coach, I don't know his name, but I'm assuming he's going to come in and he's going to say, you know what, I got to reevaluate the entire team so everybody gets a good look.
You would think.
You
But-
would think.
you- would
But
think.
I'm gonna go back though. If you look at Saban, every time all Saban's years, to me in my experience watching him, it's majority of them is all freshman, sophomore that starts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that out of him.
I don't pay that much attention.
Oh man, majority of his years is you have few seniors and juniors year, but it's always freshmen, sophomores.
Would you say that most guys are going to the league by their sophomore, junior year now?
They can.
I mean, I know that once they
Yeah.
they go and make themselves eligible for the draft, they can't come back and play college, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you declare yourself eligible, then you can't come back. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think from a football standpoint, you got to get in there as fast as you can.
Oh, sure. You don't want to be a red shirt. There's nothing worse. I mean, than sitting on the sidelines. I mean,
Well, I'm just talking about is from an injury standpoint. Like,
oh yeah, you got to capitalize on.
you got to
Yes.
get the money as fast as you can.
Yeah.
And we all know nowadays it's all about the money nowadays.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean,
it's
well,
business.
Their name and likeness thing, I think that's okay though. Personally, yes, Deion Sanders' son is making about $22 million a year, but he didn't need money before it. He was already, Deion Sanders was already Deion Sanders, so he came from, a financially stable situation. Some of these guys who have great athletic abilities may not go to the league, but may still have a great charisma and a great career. These colleges are making billions. I think it's okay for the guys as long as they don't lose sight of the reason why they're playing football.
That's the thing, though. And plus the loyalty of it.
Right.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Well, now
it
there's
is.
not a lot of loyalty because of the portal. So you could always just jump into that at any time, can't you? Explain that.
You can.
At any
though.
given time, you can just change schools.
So to me, my understanding on the portal, though, because we have a organization, Ainga Foundation, which is family. We do All-Star game every year, senior All-Star game, and we go to this convention, coaches convention, Division I coaches convention. So the portal, yes, the portal is what's ruined high school right now.
You mean college?
Well, even college, but I'm talking about high school kids, getting scholarship.
Oh, okay.
Because the thing about it though, every kid on the portal is college going to look at them first and give them the scholarship first before that.
So it makes it harder to get the high school kids. Yes.
To me, if you're not a 4 or 5-star player, man, it's so hard for a college player to look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where on our organization is now we go and then ask these coaches the question, and they're very honest with you. They're like, man, coaches, it don't matter if they don't look at you, make them go to junior college, make them go to Division II school, build whatever it is that needs to be built, and trust, we're going to come back for them. But to me, my understanding on the portal is, if a coach doesn't ask you to get on the portal, don't even try to get on the portal. That's just me. unless the coach really wants you, to get out of, can help your program, then get on it.
Right.
Because there's a lot of them that's on the portal. It's still on the portal that there's no school picking them up. And then that's where my loyalty, the loyalty come in. If you're not getting picked up, what is that? How is that going to look when you wanted to go back to your school?
Right.
So, and the loyalty, when I'm talking about loyalty, it comes from both players and coaches, even coaches. We all know if you go back and look at look at maybe last 5 to 10 years, how many coaches that get fired, how many coaches that up and move because of the money, though. I don't blame them.
Sure.
I really don't blame them. It's the same thing with the kids. Same thing with the kids. I'm going to jump on the portal because so-and-so offered me more money. And that's fine. And that's where it's so hard because, to me, it's always pushed towards the players. But it's really not all about the players. It's the coaches, too, though. Where's your loyalty to your contract? Where's your loyalty to that school?
Right.
You do good 1 year, and then another year come in, offer you more money than all of a sudden you up and left the kids that that you recruited. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it goes both ways to me. It's because I don't like the fact that they always blame the kids, but when it comes down to it, it's the coaches too.
Well, it's the system.
There you go.
It's the system.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's
Well,
not,
what would be a recommendation of how to still get these guys, these players, financial gain, but not have a portal system?
well, the portal system's not necessarily, because most of those kids are already getting full rides anyway,
Yes.
Andrew.
Right, but that full ride paying for your school is one thing, but what about the college football player who's not going to go play NFL, but still can get some financial gain inside of college for his hard work with athletics?
Well, then that's when the system comes in, just like what Frank said. Who created the system that overlooked these kids? Does that make sense?
I don't understand what kind of financial gain you're talking
Okay,
about.
so name and likeness is what I'm speaking
But
to.
the NIL deal in the portal is totally different.
Two different things.
You can't even that's two totally different
So
animals.
The portal is basically what you're saying.
Portal just says, hey, you could bounce from this school to this school to
Yeah.
this school. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let's say that Manu went to Arizona, okay, and the head coach of Arizona leaves, and Manu don't like the new head coach. Manu could go into the portal, and then now go
Another school.
Go to another school.
So when you go into the portal, is it like a pool of players that colleges can pick from?
That's right, all of them.
Yes, all of them.
Okay.
All of them.
So as soon as you say, okay, I'm putting myself in the portal, then any college can say, you know what, I want him.
Yeah.
Right. So here, like Jay Sean got recruited, and Jay Sean wanted to go to Bama because Nick Saban personally recruited him.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So now Jay Sean gets up there and Nick Saban leaves. Jay Sean could get into the portal.
Okay.
And now Jay Sean could have all these other
All these
schools
other opportunities from
other colleges. His NIL deal,
It's completely separate.
Totally different.
That's completely, goes towards him regardless.
that's his deal. No, here, his NIL deal is it's just name, image, and likeness. That goes where Jay Sean goes.
But let me ask you this question. So you go into the portal and Ohio State says, we want this guy.
Okay.
Now, I can get paid for my name and likeness. If I go into the portal and Ohio State says, hey, our booster club is willing to help your support for your name and likeness, you're in the portal, why don't you come over here and you'll get more financial gain through Ohio State?
that
they
very
can.
well could happen.
It happens.
That very
It
well
happens
could happen.
So
because-
that's
I guess
right.
so they could be related
Yeah, so
in
I
that
s-
situation.
I see what you're talking about
Yeah.
because a lot of the kids that go into to the portal, a lot of the school offer them more money in NIL.
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah.
And that's the only, that's another big reason why they leave.
Well, and that's where I think the portal serves as a disadvantage. It's not just a player looking for a new school, new program, and a new fit, but also looking for where can I get the most
opportunity.
Most opportunity. You
So,
know.
I hit on that point because that's, to me, right now, that's where majority of the kids leave their school to go to portal, especially quarterbacks. If you look
yeah,
at
because I think the Bama kid's leaving.
if you really look at quarterbacks, linemen are another thing. if they gonna be there and they think, oh man, I can't beat these guys for the next 2 years, I'm gonna jump in the portal to take my opportunity somewhere else, and maybe I can start somewhere else. And it goes back to what Frank's point was. It's about taking the money and then, and go try to before injury occurs.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these guys, remember, your resume is on the grass.
Yeah.
Your resume. If you don't perform, then where are you going to go?
What I will say about that, though, to your point, the portal will keep the best players on the field opposed to having to sit behind. I don't know if Jalen Hurts, what's his name from Miami? Gosh darn it, his name escapes me. The quarterback from Miami and Tua. I don't know if they were on the same roster, but to think that Tua was sitting behind Hurts because he had to, if that was the case, that's crazy to me.
That's a great example, though. Remember, Jalen was the man of that team.
He was.
Yeah, till he got hurt, and then I don't think he got hurt. It was what game that Tua came in on the second half.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Tua came in second half, blow everybody out. So guess what happened the following year? Tua was the starter. Just Tua was the starter. Saban's eyes, Tua was better than hers that time. So guess what Jalen did? Jump into the transfer portal and then went to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah. And guess what happened though? Because in Jalen's head, no way. I still feel like I'm the starter of any team.
I think arguably,
and that's what I'm saying. It's a great example. Look what happened.
Yeah.
He went to Oklahoma, did his thing in Oklahoma, and then got drafted. And guess what? He's doing real good things.
So I mean, in that instance, that portal, I think serves to keep the best players on the field at all times. Because if
I see your point on that.
Well, yeah, because if there's no portal, Jalen Hurts is stuck behind Tua.
Exactly.
And then he, it's good. It breeds competition to have two, great athletes on the same team. But when you got two great quarterbacks that are NFL quarterbacks, let's get him into another school so that he can actually
compete and show the skill
I have mixed
set.
emotions about it.
I think there's
It is.
advantages
I have
and
mixed emotions about
disadvantages of it.
To me, I really think I'm pretty sure there's stipulation that they put on it.
There probably is.
Yeah, but
there's probably something
it's
that
just
But you have to think. I mean, there's a little bit of I don't know. Part of it kind of rubs me wrong, and part of it's like, hey, you know what? This is a cutthroat game. The depth chart's fucking real.
Yeah.
And there's no diplomacy in the game at all.
They don't see how you're feeling before they cut you.
yeah.
In the NFL, when you go to the NFL, it's like it's not.
Give me your playbook. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
When I got released from Cleveland Browns, the security guard, Manu, coach, want to see you. Those are the only words. And you can ask any NFL players that's being cut from a team. Those are the words that you're out. Coach, want to see you. So what I did, grabbed my playbook, went up there, talked to the coach, and like, man, we have to move on without you. That's it. Good luck to you. And that's the.
Let's scale back to how you got there.
Well, yeah, because I want to go.
So my whole 2000, from 98 to 2000, I was in Arizona. Got drafted the first pick of 7th round. Yeah. So
first pick of the 7th round.
First pick. I think it was 6th or 7th pick after Tom Brady.
Okay.
6th or 7th pick.
2000. If you go back and look at the 2000 draft, man,
he was a 7th round pick.
Tom Brady was.
Really?
No, Tom Brady was a 6th round pick.
Really?
Yeah.
Diamond in the rough.
I'm telling you, go back and look at that 2000 draft. It was nothing but ballers, like dogs in that draft. It was one of the best athletes, draft that came out. And then there he goes, got drafted in the first round first pick of the 7th round. Tom Brady was I believe was 7 or 6 picks before me. And then cut from Cleveland, and Tom Brady played 20 years. There you go. You're there in Cleveland Brown for a few years, and then Tom Brady's still going.
How long were you in Cleveland?
3 years.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you mentioned LeVar Arrington. He was a number 2 pick overall.
Courtney Brown was number 1. Is that right?
Courtney Brown was number 1.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
So I went to Cleveland, and then, I didn't even watch the draft. I didn't even, well, first of all, scale back. I had ACL repair in 1999, going into the 2000 season. And there's no excuse. There's no excuse about that was, the reason why I didn't have a good season, But when I walk into that facility and I saw Courtney Brown there, remember I told you, he gave me hell in that Pigskin Classic in 2000. When I walk in, I saw Courtney Brown there. He was Cleveland, first pick of the draft. And I walk up to him like, Courtney, please don't do that again. Because I already know I'm going to go against him in practice. I'm going to go against him, during camp. And then me and him just chop it up. We were just laughing. Yeah, real nice guy, real humble guy.
Yeah.
Very humble guy. And then, fortunate enough, I really thought that's one of the defensive ends going to be last, in the league. But he was there for 3 years, then ended up at the Broncos. Finished. I think he finished his career in Denver.
In Denver.
Yeah, but you're talking about a humble guy. Yeah.
So you get drafted, and then talk to me about that whole process as far as from draft day to your first NFL start.
So when the phone call came, I was at the park with my wife and my 2 kids at the time. Actually my 3 kids at the time. Moana, Lay, and MJ. So the phone call came. Like I said, I never watched the draft. I knew where I was going to go. To me, like I was going to go the second day. What time in that second day, I don't know. So and I knew that because of the way my performance was in that year. Take away what I did in 98, man, we were dominant, and stuff like that. Phone call came. It was Chris Palmer. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know who Chris Palmer was, 5'0", head coach. Yeah. Sorry, Chris, but he was about 300 pounds during the time. very business guy. To me, I really think Chris was not a player's coach. He was strictly business, know, which is okay, which is fine with me doing, that's his role. Got a phone call, gave me everything, and then a week later, you have to report. That's where your rookie minicamp was held. So went to the rookie minicamp. Everything was great. Meet a lot of the rookies then. My man Sean O'Hara.
When you're drafted, are you immediately a part of the team?
No. Even when you're first pick of the draft, you're not immediately part of the team till you sign that contract.
Okay.
That's the only time that you're part of the team, when your contract was signed. Yeah.
Okay.
So I went through the whole minicamp. I didn't even sign the contract till my second mandatory camp. Yeah, that's when I signed my contract.
So you blow your ACL out or have a real bad injury within those first camps, they could say bye-bye.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's when I learned the business is hard. In the NFL. So went through it though, and then it was doing pretty good. Met a lot of players. The person that I really think that I went against, and it was a scrimmage game, and he was so damn good, man. It was Orthis Roy. I don't know, man. If you look up, Orthis Roy used to play for Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about a monster defensive lineman. Yeah. Because I played tackle in college. I ended up playing guard
At the NFL?
in Cleveland. Yeah. And play against next to remember, big man, Orlando Brown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Orlando was massive.
Yeah, Orlando Brown. Real good guy.
Dude.
Yeah. But, from then on, it's one of them things. You come in as a rookie, you think like, hey man, after practice, Friday weekend comes, where we going? Where's the bar? Where's the bar we're going? And then a lot of the rookies was always a strip club. I'm not gonna lie to you though, and maybe it's still going on nowadays. But a lot of them always ask for strip club. Where's the strip club? We got to go to. Offensive lineman, though, when I was asking as a rookie, to some of the veterans that was there, where are we going after this? What are we doing? That's when I first bought my sets of golf clubs. I am not going to lie to you, though. And it was a great teaching from that time. Don't go be an idiot. Don't go waste your time and then spend all your money and stuff. Go buy a set. I still have those golf clubs. I still use it, not Tommy Armours. Still have them. Still have those golf clubs I bought in 2000. And I played. So it was funny because my first day was, we had the weekend off as linemen. We went to a Saturday. Lost 24 balls.
Oh, that's
Remember,
nothing.
I know. I'm telling you because
In 9 holes.
yeah, in 9 holes. I'm not going. Lost 24 balls. So and then what makes it me come back? It was just one good drive.
One good shot.
It wasn't a putting. It was a drive. That's the very first time I hit the driver straight down, and I'm like, this is fun.
There's nothing
Yeah.
better that feels than when you hit a
I'm
pure
not gonna-
golf shot
and
right down the pipe.
And that's when I learned, if I ran into somebody that, going into the NFL first year or something, I was like, hey, don't be, go out there and be stupid and stuff. Go find a hobby.
Yeah.
Find a hobby that you can. Oh man, ever since that's when I started playing golf. Yeah, and I love it. Yeah.
So what about JUCO to
Arizona.
wasn't that big of a difference? Well, I mean, you didn't notice a huge difference.
Speed, though, Frank, I know where you're going. The speed of the game, though, from college to NFL, what a big difference.
Was it crazy?
Crazy.
But your footwork kept you in it.
The footwork kept you in it. So here's the
But
thing.
the speed of the game.
You really think that's when I'm talking about when you just go, we call it thud, now. It's full speed. And I'm talking about like there's so much control. You're going full speed and all of a sudden you slow down, like before contact. Even like practice, even warm-ups. There is no there's 10 seconds rest. No, it's consistent every time, till that horn blows, there's your 1 minute water break. Yeah, but
I hated the horn in college.
Oh man, that's when I know though. That's when I learned, Frank, like the speed of the game is so much different.
Crazy.
You miss one thing, good luck. It's going to take you a whole week just trying to catch up.
Now you're talking about the speed of
I'm talking about when I talk about the speed of the game. I'm talking about from classroom, the field, practice, and everything. Like the whole thing.
the whole thing moves fast. And it's a
I'm
machine.
telling you, even in meetings,
Flying through it.
they're flying through it. They expect you to know your playbook,
which
which is your job.
it's your job.
Yeah, it's the same
100%.
thing. To me, I always compare it to high school coaches. To me, every high school coaches is expect a ninth grader to come in and know how to play football because we don't have time to try to go back and try to reteach it. Of course, we're still doing teaching though, but not completely, from ground up. Yeah, so it's the same thing with the NFL. They already saw what you can do on film. They expect that and more. Now there's more responsibility that put on you.
Are they still covering some of the fundamentals because I'm sure the
Yes.
fundamentals are a bit different
Yes.
in the NFL.
It is. Well, those fundamentals is the same thing from college. But,
Okay.
if you don't review and go over fundamentals, then all of a sudden you get away from the game.
Right.
The game was always built on fundamentals. Yeah. And then different way they do it, like it's on the clock. Like, man, it's timing everything.
Yeah.
And that's why when you see the game on Sunday, that's exactly why. That's exactly why the pace of the game is so fast. Starts from the classroom, starts from the lunchroom. It don't matter. You only have this much time. To
Well,
eat.
and everything I would imagine scripted. Like they probably even
everything
have
is.
water breaks scripted.
It is.
sure.
They'll have a
everything
water
is
break
scripted.
from like 2:02 to 2:05.
Yeah.
Well, I could tell that with you guys when you're like, hey, we've got this at 3:03 or 7:07.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, we're down to the minute, huh?
Yeah.
You know,
And don't be surprised. You get, the top dog will yell at the whole organization, and if it's not on time.
Yeah.
That's how professional it is, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a business.
It is. It's business. You're making millions of dollars, though. I mean, it have to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's got to protect his livelihood
It
too.
has to be.
So
Did the business end of it ever suck the fun of it out for you?
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. And to me, even now, like when I look at every team, maybe half of the NFL are like real good taking care of their players.
Yeah.
Not so much of the business side, but it's the toughest thing though. Especially though when not only the business side, but if you have a coach, it's not a player's coach, that's really hard.
So
Yeah.
so you started for 3 years.
Actually, I played for 1 year. Yeah.
You played for 1 year for Cleveland.
1 year, and then the rest of them, I was a second stringer.
Second stringer.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got cut after your third year,
Yeah,
were you ready to be done?
I was because remember though, I told you I went in there with the ACL,
Right knee or left knee?
right knee.
Okay.
Yeah,
Which you just had a knee replacement. Was your right
oh
knee?
man, no, left knee.
Left knee. Okay.
I'm ready to see Dr. Gornat this time next year for my right knee.
Right.
You might go back to the league after you get 2 knee
Man, I'll
replacements.
tell you what. I'll tell you what. My whole goal is just to run again. That's my whole goal. It's
Yeah.
just to run again. But what you call now I'm brain fart here with the question though, Frank.
When you got cut.
Oh yeah, when I got cut, my agent, Dre Cummins during the time, say, hey, the Jets, New York want to, work you out. And that time, there's a reason why I wasn't on the field, in Cleveland. It's because of my knee. And I was straightforward with him. I was like, man, to me, I'm going to be real honest with you, though. I don't think I'm going to make that cut again because my knee wasn't right at the time.
Right.
Yeah. And this was back in 98 when I had the surgery.
Hey, I had mine in 97. It's a different surgery.
Well, there
now.
you go. Well, here's the deal, though, Frank.
different
You're in the business. You're in the physical therapy business. It's a big difference from back in the 90s till nowadays.
Oh, totally different.
I see these players now with ACL, like 4 or 5 months, they're back.
Well, surgical techniques are
Yeah.
better and therapy's better.
There you go.
Therapy's progressed.
Aaron Rodgers was, I think, ready to come back this year from
To me,
Achilles.
I think he was ready to come back on the 13th game.
Yeah. His team wasn't competing, so
Yeah.
he's like, why am I going to waste?
It's
If
it's
they were in a
crazy
playoff
how
hunt.
the technology, nowadays.
Yeah.
I guess we can put it that way.
So I don't know if you remember the movie The Program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the program, those guys would get injured and they would immediately pull out the syringe and the cortisone shot. Now everything is in how is it's could have been Hollywood that they're just
Here. A cortisone
was that a thing?
a cortisone shot is not going to help you right then and there. A cortisone shot is going to
it's
help
just-
you in about 48 hours.
Yeah. To me, it's just numbness.
If they're giving him anything to get him through it, they're lidocaine him.
They're shooting them with lidocaine.
Something like lidocaine or some type of cane. There's longer ass,
Not cocaine.
Right. Right. There's Baruvicaine. There's all kinds of different. Like one of them's longer lasting than the other, but they're numbing them is what they're doing.
Is that still in practice today?
Oh, I'm sure there's doctors that'll do it. I mean, there's probably more. I would call them morally compromised doctors that would do it, but I don't know. Like, man, Drew.
But the cortisone shot is still out there, though.
You could do a cortisone injection, but that's not what they're doing at halftime. Like,
Debo Samuel's got banged up in the
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, but I think the game before that he got tuned up pretty good as well. What are the chances that they're still putting that into practice? Because it's a big game.
Here, hold on. They could very well do a cortisone injection, but what I'm saying to you is They're not doing that in halftime and them guys coming out and being able to play because of cortisone.
It's going to be a lidocaine.
It's going to be something that's numbing them.
Okay.
Now they may sometimes they'll put lidocaine and cortisone in with them, but that cortisone ain't going to take effect for a couple days.
Let's just put it this way, though. Here, you better put this cocaine in your nose instead of weed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If I give you weed, you're not going to be able to go play.
Right.
Sniff this cocaine, I bet you're going to go play. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that's where Frank is talking about. With the cortisone, I'm pretty sure there's something like stronger than that. They're using. They're probably still in play. I mean, do we know? I don't know.
Well,
I have no idea.
I don't know if the doctor I know those doctors for the Chiefs.
Okay.
It's all those guys out at KCOI. I can't see any of them guys injecting a guy.
Yeah.
I think that those practices have probably expired by now. But I think my question probably was that going on when you were playing ball?
No, but like I said, I never saw it.
Never saw it. Okay.
I never saw it though.
Yeah, I just can't.
But even that though, Frank, I can't see them put their livelihood on something like that.
Yeah,
I really don't.
That's a malpractice suit.
You compromise your integrity, your license,
like I said, morally compromised.
Yeah.
Right? So is that what's in the best interest of the athlete? Probably not.
Yeah. I mean, if it's like Ronnie Lott, cut my finger off, I'm playing. That's a different story. He made the decision to have his finger cut off. Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Right.
You can still play ball. But when we're talking about, I understand what you're saying.
I don't think they do it. I think like here, maybe it's Monday and, oh shit, this guy's got a jacked up knee. His MRI shows a meniscus tear. Let's try to get him through the season. Let's inject him with cortisone.
Just to get through.
And then and then we'll worry about it when the season's over. I could see that happening. Now, let's say, so-and-so jacked up his knee. He's got an ACL tear. They're not going to inject that.
It doesn't make any sense.
They shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
They shouldn't. They should say, here, you're done. We need to have surgery, and you're done.
Like the guy who was running on the field during the Super Bowl tore his Achilles.
Oh, man, that hurts.
Right. Just watching that hurt.
Damn.
Yeah.
He was so excited.
Yeah.
And he had a real good first quarter.
He was, let me tell you something.
He was, man,
flying all over the place.
My man Greenlaw, man,
God darn.
Dude,
he was amazing.
That was a big loss for San Francisco. Huge. I mean, talk about the Chiefs catching a break.
Have you guys watched the mic session of that?
I have not.
Man, just the players. Since we're talking football, it's just the players. They just stop. Fred Warner actually, had a tear in his eye because that was his guy. That was a guy that's going to be next to him. It was like, no, this can't happen.
Man.
It's just the pause that they have is like, oh man.
And it was just him getting ready to, he was fired up. He couldn't sit still.
Yep.
You could see him just on his tiptoes, and then that left calf.
Boom.
Just snap.
Here, it's going to be hard to mentally get over that.
Yeah, because he's in the big game, and for him to say, if I was there, if this didn't happen, the ifs.
No. You're missing my point.
Let's hear it.
I'm talking about him to push off that left foot again.
Oh, absolutely.
So Frank,
Absolutely,
Frank brought up a good point. The mental stage of it.
Oh.
You know what I was struggling with my ACL going into the league? It was the mental part.
Hold on, that's why I couldn't go back and play.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I couldn't get myself mentally ready to put everything on my knee. It was hard.
Mentally.
So now, going back, almost 30, 40 something years later, I had a knee replacement just 4 weeks ago.
So it probably stuck with you in a lot of stuff that you did.
So it changed my whole mentality of it.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm not a doctor person. I'm not a pill person, but my wife was telling me before my knee surgery, like, you got to put trust in your doctor. You got to put trust in your physical, in your therapy session. It caught me by surprise. Like, it's to me, I really think I'm ahead of the game. Like, I don't even think about it. I just go like normal day.
Yeah, mentally for me,
it's tough.
It was because mine was non-contact.
Yeah,
mine was the sprinkler head came up, and when it went back down, left a little divot. So my foot got caught in it, and then my body moved and my leg didn't, and I hyperextended my knee. So I never mentally could let loose and run.
Yeah.
Now I could do it if I was on turf, or I could do it if I was on like a basketball court.
Not on grass.
Couldn't do it on grass.
Because you feel the uneven of it.
I can't do it. I could never do it. And back then, in 1997 and 98, there was no, one school that we played had turf. No other school. Now they all have turf.
Yeah.
And the turf then was like concrete.
It was awful.
It was awful. Carpet.
Yeah.
It was that little thin carpet.
And you played
like
in the
playing
league
on
when
this.
when were most of the stadiums
Most of the stadiums that I play in was grass.
was grass.
Just like the Chiefs grass.
Yeah.
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 And that was pretty good.
But so that's what I never, ever, ever could get over, which is why I ended up tearing it again.
Yeah.
Because I just mentally couldn't get it out of my head.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that point, because that, going back to when I had mine, I couldn't like mentally get that knee right.
And so did it affect which side of the line you played? Now I kind of thinking back, it's your right knee, right?
Knee, yeah.
So when you're in pass protection, as a guard, do you still put your right leg back?
I bet it affected me because I was playing right side during that
Yeah.
98 season. It didn't bother me much when I was in Cleveland because I was playing guard. So
Right.
it's more of a leverage thing at guard instead of kicking. you
Yeah,
know?
sure.
But it's like I said, the mental stage of it was very hard. Yeah. Even when I go to rehab,
so
it's
you get released from Cleveland, and then at what? Because I want to get into now your coaching.
yeah.
So when do you? Because you went Little League first,
Yes.
and then you went St. Thomas Aquinas, and then now St. Pius.
Yeah. So got released from Cleveland back in Arizona, and then we moved here. We moved to Kansas City. My ex-wife, dad was from Independence.
Okay.
So moved here, and then I got into the trade that I'm in right now. I got into the building technology. And ever since that, I'm doing that for almost 20-something years.
Was that your degree in college?
Mine was sociology.
Sociology?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when before I went to college, I did some sociology work. The 2 years I was here in Kansas City before I went to college. And one thing about me, though, I'm not a desk person. I can't sit behind the desk.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't know what's going on. It's just that is boring. I like to get out.
I can't stay awake.
Yeah, I like to put my hands on stuff and learn new stuff. So moved back here to Kansas City. That's when my son was a second grader. So I went to sign him up in Blue Springs, BSAA league during that time. And then they were looking for a coach, looking for a second grade coach because they didn't have a second grade coach for the Vipers back then.
Okay, I remember. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like,
Your cousin coaches them now, doesn't
yeah.
he? Okay.
Yeah. So I
They got
was
some
like,
monsters on that fourth grade.
yes, they do. Yeah. And you know what? Every year they love looking forward to playing the Raiders.
Yeah. They got some studs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're good. So my thing is, I was like, okay. So I turn around, look at my cousin that's coaching, the Little League now. Let's go take this opportunity. It's another opportunity for me to share my experience to these kids, which was great. It was a great time. That's when I started coaching Little League. That's when I started coaching Little
And
League.
you coached what grades?
Second grade all the way to seventh grade. That's when BSAA stops at seventh grade.
Okay.
Coached my whole son through seventh grade. Came back down, the following time around, took another round of kids, starting from second grade. That I've been doing it for about 15 years or so.
So you went 2 through 7.
2 through 7.
And then you went 2 through 7 again?
2 through 8 then.
2 through 8
Yeah,
again.
2 through
Okay.
8 again. And,
So you coached for about 13 years.
oh yeah. I told about 15 years in Little League. Till my last time around when I was in the North Suburban. I step away.
Where'd you coach at North Suburban?
I had my own Rebels organization.
Oh, okay. All right.
Rebels.
All right.
See, when I was in Blue Springs, I was under the Vipers. When I moved up north here, I was coaching under the Wolverines,
Okay.
with Jimmy Tuso.
Very good coach.
Yeah, with 2 years, and then I
He
left.
was an Iowa guy. Was he
Yeah.
Iowa or
Was he-
Iowa State?
Iowa State.
Iowa State. He's an Iowa State guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a good offensive lineman.
Yes, he was. So I left Tuso. I left the Wolverines, and then created my own Rebels. So with the help of what's his name, the Sharks, the old man.
I know who you're talking about.
Oh man,
They're well coached too.
yes, the old man though that runs the Shark organization.
I can't think of his name.
Man, poor guy, rest in peace though. That's the guy that helped me though. He gave me the backside of the field over there in Pleasant Valley.
Yep.
He gave me the backside of the field there in Pleasant Valley, even though he know I had to compete against him. But he was really helping me with the goal because he want me to take over the Shark because he wasn't going to last long.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, man, maybe that's an opportunity there. So went through the whole North Suburban, play against the Raiders. Oh, man, it was real good. Play again, we went to the Simone tournament, Simone tournament. That's when, that's the time that I really think that's when I met Coach Simone, in person.
Yeah.
I always seen him on the field, because, I know they were so big. They were so big back then. Well, even my son, I know the Raiders organization when Isaiah, and then Xavier played.
Yeah.
So went through that whole situation there, and then got an opportunity to go help coach at William Chrisman. I'm not going to lie to you though, didn't last long for me.
Why not? What happened?
Didn't last long for me though. My Rebels organization was a lot organized than that high school.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm not saying the whole high school. I'm talking about just the football program itself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I went through the whole summer, and I feel bad. I feel bad for the kids. They have some real good linemen then. But me though, my whole thing is, you can ask anybody that knows me. I put in my time. If I know it goes on a good cause.
Sure.
That's the only time I get involved in anything. That right there was the biggest disappointment for me.
Waste of your time?
It was wasting my time.
Yeah.
Because I was still doing the Rebels organization. And when I'm talking about the whole time that I had the Little League, I treated it as college practice.
Absolutely.
Oh, I did.
You put everything into it.
I'm telling you. And then we were in Super Bowls every year. Some we win, some we lose those Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But the thing about it though, I was trying to teach these kids, my goal was preparing them for high school, not for college. That was my whole goal, is preparing them for high school, because I knew then high school coaches, they don't have time to I'm not faulting them for it. I just want to make sure when the kids come to high school, maybe different terminology, but you know exactly what they're talking about, that they're ready to go.
Yeah.
And
And here I look at sports nowadays is harder than it was when we were kids.
It is.
100%.
It is.
Harder.
It
I
is
mean,
harder.
almost to the point where I kind of feel bad for the kids, because like your mediocre athlete that used to get reps,
Yeah.
He doesn't get reps anymore.
they don't get reps no more.
Now, what do you mean by don't get reps? Don't get reps in practice, or don't get reps just in general?
Now, I'm not talking about at the grade school level. Hold on. You know what? Sometimes even at the grade school level,
yeah,
depending
it
on
is.
the program, if you're not with the right coach and you're with the, because believe me, there's coaches out there coaching 10, 9-year-old kids. It's all they give a shit about is winning.
It's
Yeah.
their, all they care about is their pride.
And they don't care about developing a kid. You understand what I'm saying? And they're not looking at the big picture, right? Because it just happens. It is what it is.
It happens.
Because they've monetized youth sports,
Sure.
right? So it's kind of a joke. But
So I'm gonna go back to that though, Drew. The 3 times that I've been doing that, like take the second grade, like the Raiders do it different. When you're a 4th grade coach, you stay. So the way I did it, I take the second grade and move up with them every time. So the 3 times that I went through it, I went through 2nd grade through 8th grade 3 times. The thing that to me though, that I know I did something right with these kids, every year, half of those kids, when they go to high school, they start as varsity. every year.
Yeah.
At least I have 6 to 7 kids out of that 8th grade team that go start high school, wherever high school they go to. So to me, that's the thing that I always try to preach, to develop these kids. Because as now, you all know, it's hard. It's so hard for you to go and start at a varsity, in high school.
I mean, it's
hard.
I look at the talent at Pius, and I'm just like, God darn. It's like,
I don't know that I could have. I mean, I was a pretty good football player, but I see the talent on the field now, and I'm like, gosh, dang,
It is.
those guys are animals.
Yeah, there's a lot
and
of them.
there's
There's a lot
depth.
of them.
There's
Yeah.
depth.
Yeah.
You're right, Manu. It does start with the person who's got
in
you
charge.
and your developmental stage
Yeah.
to get you to that place to where now a coach can actually take what you've learned in grade school and build on it.
well,
It's
and
a
I
foundation.
think like what coaches need to understand. So, like, take the Necco Raiders. Like, if I was the head coach of one of those teams, I would never, ever want to win a game by more than 2 touchdowns. Okay, and here's what I mean. If I win a game by more than 2 touchdowns, then my 2s didn't get enough reps.
Right.
That's my philosophy. You can argue with it if you want. If I was the head coach, that's what I would do.
It doesn't do you any good to win by 60.
Hold on. It doesn't do the other team any good either.
It doesn't.
Well,
You don't elevate them either.
Right.
You,
I'll
you
go
know,
up back. Don't forget about the other team, though. What is your team gaining from it?
nothing.
Yeah, that's exactly, because I watch it. Man, great organization. Nothing against the Raiders. That's what they do.
Hold on. This isn't a bash on the Raiders. I wasn't
no.
saying that.
I'm not saying
because I
I'm
bleed Necco Raiders.
Yes.
I mean, you know.
that's what I'm saying. I'm not bashing them. Like, even in their practice, they're very particular in what they do in practice. I saw that when my sons play. So, but to me is like what Frank's point was. What are you gaining winning games 70-7? What are you gaining in winning games 60-12?
Right.
You're not gaining anything, but the only thing that you're gaining is what you put into practice.
Yeah.
Because the other team is not giving you anything for you to gain anything.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so in my opinion, it's like, here, if I'm winning a game by more than 2 touchdowns, my 2s didn't play enough.
So
They need to play
I'm
more.
gonna go back to Pius, and I wish you have headphones on the offensive side. We go to these schools, and then 40 to something in first quarter,
Right.
and then there goes Bear. I hope Bear watches it. Like, I'm yelling at my offensive coordinator, like, hey man, we got to put these people in there. Like, well, the head coach wanted us to keep the ones in there and I understand it.
Yeah.
I'm not bashing Bear. I understand the mentality that Bear comes from, but to me is eliminate injury. Eliminate
Hold
the
on.
injury.
The physical therapist is sitting up in the box cringing.
Thank you.
Well, but let me ask you this question. At what point do you say these guys are going to be playing a 4-quarter football game and it's going to be a big game eventually? We're right now beating this team 35-0 and it's the second quarter. I still have the rest of the season left. My guys who are going to start need to get 4 quarters of football endurance in them. And
Well, here, hold on.
But
at
it's
what
different.
point do I say, you know what? I can only these guys practice all week. I put them in a position to play this entire 4 quarters. What point do I say, I keep them in there?
I'll answer that for you, though. I mean, maybe Frank has a different opinion. To me, I see what your point, though. Keep them in there so you can get used to the game.
Four quarters.
But guess what's happening there? They're not putting in their full potential in that game. So they're not, like I said, they're not gaining anything from it because now it's just a show up. Just to show up, go on the field, and come back out. So it's a waste of time. But to me, that's a great opportunity for our second, third string. Maybe they can compete better with that team, at that time to gain that experience. But I understand where you're coming from because it happens in the college level, happens in the NFL level.
Here,
They
the college teams will leave them the starters in the whole time.
the whole time to get acclimated in 4-quarter games when it comes to it, though. But to me, college is different. To me, in high school, you're not gaining anything from it.
I think at least in a game like that, your starters need to play at least a full 3 quarters. You see how they hold on. Let me finish. You see how they recover after halftime from the downtime. Your coaches get that interaction with the starting player, and you can also start trying different schemes and things that you wouldn't normally try in a real game time situation to kind of experiment. So,
well, you can't do that because here you're missing something. Number one, you said 35-0 in the second quarter. We were in the 40s in the first quarter in 2 of these games.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's
a horse of a different color.
we are going up to 5A, so things probably
That's not going to happen anymore.
it's
So this
not.
is really kind of a moot point.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
but we're on the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's number one. Number 2, okay, if you start doing all kinds of different trick plays when you're beating the shit out of a team, that's not a very good look.
No, I'm not saying trick plays. I'm saying work on things that your team is struggling with. So if you're a run dominant team and you're beating it,
So you want to pass the ball when you're up 42 to nothing?
So what I'm saying is, we need to run plays that. I'm not saying trick plays, but you still
I
need
see
to
what you're
continue to
saying.
work on
Yeah.
your scheme to develop it and expand it. And then I think at the third quarter, it's like third quarter ends. Okay, now we need to make that transition to get our number 2s and 3s in that position in a real time game playing.
For me,
And
it's
that-
completely and totally score driven.
Yeah.
Period. Case closed. It's completely score driven. Here, injury prevention, just all of it. You know, if I'm beating a team 40 something, I'm starting to work my 2s in. I don't care if it's the first quarter.
Starting to work your 2s in is different than putting the entire second string in.
I'm not indicating put the whole second
Yeah.
string
Okay,
in.
then I can work with
maybe
that.
maybe you keep your starting offensive line.
That's
in.
what I was gonna cut you off at, because
Yeah.
I believe that's what we were doing though. That's what we're doing. To me, my mentality is put the whole second team in. But what coaches was doing, even our OC, was they were working kids in at a time.
Yeah.
I think
And I
that's-
can make, and honestly, I'd make an argument for what you're saying too.
Yeah.
Fuck it, take them out.
Take them out.
No,
And that's what I was.
Here's why I'll make an argument against that. You're going to put a second string kid in who's going to be playing with
The first.
the first string.
Yes.
And if something were to happen and a guy goes down, he needs to know how to play with those guys. So I think at some point you got to say, okay, we're going to take the right side of the line out and play them with the first string, or the left side.
Yes.
You know.
So Drew, and that's where I was getting at, because I understand your point, but I was going back to where, like, my mentality,
Yeah.
during the games, like, I don't want my first string. Get him out. But going back, I understand what Coach Bear was doing.
I think
and
it's
then
smart.
and then our OC was doing, because at that point, there's going to be time the 2s is going to start with the 1s.
Absolutely.
So what they were doing was just working our 2s in with some of the 1s, because there has to be a time in the future that's going to be the guy that's going to be playing with it.
Well, and
I just want to correct that. We're in the game time mentality. For me, is like, why are we still having the starters in there? It's 40-0 first quarter. Yeah,
right.
So that's my mentality. And then my whole thinking was, it's injury. I don't want anybody to get hurt.
Well, and
you have to be able to function. So, like, if you're looking at the grade school level, okay, a lot of times that starting offensive line, you'll keep them in.
Well,
You'll work your 2s in on your defensive line.
you might get one kid picking up daisies.
Well, because here, you have to be able to function.
Yes.
And you don't want to
It's a
put
good
your
point.
number 2 running back in again with your number 2 offensive lineman, and then they just get pulverized.
Yeah.
You want them to be able to get a look.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we'll keep that number 1 O-line in, and then we'll start working in the 2s on the defensive line, and then we'll start putting the 2 running backs in, the 2 receivers, things like that.
And because just to Manu's point, because the program, St. Pius program, is dialed in the way that it's dialed in, you're still might beat a team by 60. And they're still your
Here,
2s
St.
may
Joe-
still destroy people.
Hold on. St. Joe Benton, our number 3 running back, ran an 80-yard touchdown.
I mean,
They're told the referee, if we score another touchdown, you have to throw a flag. he goes, you got to throw a flag. You can't, we you know, I mean, and he's yelling up at half, and half is going, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Right. It's our third string running back.
It's
he
crazy.
ran a dive.
Here's the deal, though, Drew. We're in big dog league now.
big dog league.
I hope that's not going to be the case.
No, I don't think you're going to be blowing teams out by 60.
No, and you know, I'm really looking forward to it.
But I do think that the boys are going to rise to the challenge. I really do. I think they're going to
we're going to compete.
Yeah.
We're going to compete.
I see a big difference. You know, I don't go to a lot of the mornings. You know, I went to a few last year. I went to a few this year. I see the big difference this year.
Big difference how?
Big difference in the mentality of the kids.
Okay.
The mentality, and I think it's the want. It's the want that they're driven for.
They they tasted it.
Yes.
And they didn't get there, and they're hungry. Do you think?
And then on top of that, you know, even, you know, they tasted and we didn't get it, and then come back the next year. Now we're moving up 2 classes, so that's a big drive for them. Yeah.
How has the coach's mentality changed?
Mine hasn't.
You guys still, same mentality. I mean,
you still coach a high school team as a high school team. Your mentality doesn't change. You know, maybe some stuff changes in meetings and stuff, but I really think I think the biggest change is preparation.
sure.
That's that to me. That's the only thing.
I think the change will, like from a mentality standpoint, and the amount of effort that I plan on putting in, that's not going to change whether I'm at 3A, 4A, 5A. I mean, it's you know, I'm always going to put in the same amount of effort.
It's your effort's not going to change, but in the back of your head, and I don't care if you're a player or a coach, when your competition level rises, you got to your level of focus and your mentality, and it changes from like.
Well, your level of preparation has got to be changed.
Well, here I got to be honest. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Because here, you know what? I want to see how, you know, I do in that chess match against the best of the best as well.
Yeah.
Because honestly, there's some of the times where when we're playing, we're like, you can read these guys like a book.
Yeah.
You know, but now here, and there's also times Seneca, you read them and it don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
They're just going to kick your fucking ass.
That's,
You know what-
that sucks.
That sucks.
That's a helpless feeling. I'm up in that box with you. I'm like, this sucks.
You know what kicked my ass this year though? Like even now is my linemen. I get texts every single week. You know, when are we starting? When are we starting?
Yeah.
And they know I had a knee replacement. That's why I'm pushing myself. You know, pushing myself in rehab. Even at home, I'm doing stuff that I'm not supposed to be doing, but I'm trying to get better because it goes back to the mentality I was talking about for the kids.
Yeah.
Man, they want it though. They want me to start the clinic already because that's how they're going to get better when it comes summertime.
And from like a training standpoint,
Yeah.
you know, like the only thing that's really kind of driving me nuts is we're not able to be as efficient as I would like to be in the space that we're in because we just have so many kids.
Sure.
You know, and there's so many different things that I would like to be able to do, but we can't because of space. So I'm super excited to get that new space all done. You know what I mean? Just because it's like, man, gosh, there's so much you could do with that type of space. It's from a multi-purpose exercise, you know, strength exercise that'll target, you know, mobility, that'll target injury prevention. Then you can target all these different things that you just can't do. And
In such a small space.
such a small space, and it'll ultimately allow me to be more creative.
Sure.
Because right now, everything that I'm doing when I'm putting these workouts together is revolved around, can I do it in this area?
Without getting your helmet in football thrown like Mahomes, like the kicker for was it Baltimore? Kelsey threw his helmet in his football because Tucker was
Kick him out of the way.
Yeah. So you're not over on top of each other.
Right. I mean, even little things you got to watch, like, hey, man, these kids can't do that because they could drop weights on each other. Or, I got to get somebody out here out in the hall, and I got to get someone over here. I got to open up this space a little bit so that we could do this one exercise. So everything I'm doing isn't like necessarily what I want to do. It's just only what we can do.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, these guys are working their asses off.
They are.
And they're getting stronger and they're getting bigger. So those are the two things we want them to do right now.
Yeah.
But God darn what I could do once I get this.
And even if you have the whole football field, it's like you can't because of the weather.
No, it's too cold.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, those things right there.
So Manu, I got a question. You kind of touched upon this about like your connection with players when you were in the NFL and how you guys would go play golf together. Mm-hmm. I was an O lineman, and then I played D line in college. I went from linebacker to D line, but to me, I always felt that the close knit group of the line together, because it's, there's positions like running back, quarterback, wide receiver, but tell me about how the offensive line comes together and how that group of guys.
It's the bond. You have to build that bond. Yeah, not only just golf. When I was in college, but let's go to the NFL. There's 2 days a week, like we will go eat dinner together. Either go to a restaurant or go to somebody's house, with their wife and their cook. And then when we go there, we don't even talk football.
Yeah.
We absolutely don't talk football.
And you've implemented that every Thursday night.
And that's what I do to the offensive linemen, ever since I joined Pius. It's every Thursday night. You should come.
Yeah, I'd love to come.
You come to the house.
I love to come.
You should come to the house. It's dinner. It's just building the bond because for example, like you said, especially D line and offensive line.
Yeah,
you have to know the movement of the person next to you in order for you to. You're never gonna have a perfect game in order for you to be good.
Well, there's no other position group that's that large.
Exactly. If the lineman doesn't go right, the whole offense screwed up. If the lineman, one person do one mistake, the play doesn't work. So according to your question, how to keep those guys together is building that bond. You got to build a bond within each other because these are the guys that you're going to play next to the whole time.
You're in the foxhole with them. You're in the trenches with them.
That's it. You're in the trenches with them and stuff like that. But building that bond, though, to me, I started that ever since. I take it from my experience in college and NFL, and I try to implement it to the kids. There's no football talk. Yeah, you have to make that person trust you. Sometimes in this conversation, we're talking about somebody else's girlfriend. And then we're talking about their parents. And stuff like, which is good. Because that's how you build a trust between that young man and the other young man. And which is it's amazing. And then I saw that on the football field last year too. It's amazing. It's always rough from the beginning, and then as the year go by, they get better and better every time. As every Thursday dinner, it gets better and better every Thursday dinner.
Get more connected.
Exactly, and that's why it's so important for me to continue that with kids. With especially the offensive. Now it's not an offensive lineman thing. It's the whole offense now. Yeah. We have the tight ends.
Coaches come.
And I invite everybody, which is good.
Well, I know what I'm doing on Thurss from now on.
Yeah, you should.
Hold on. His wife can cook, bro.
We have some good stuff.
Man, I'll bring dessert.
Yeah. So, but it's fun though. It's fun for them, especially when you're deep in the season. Something to get your head off, from practice. What are we doing tomorrow? What
they look forward to that.
Exactly. It's something to look forward to other than just football and school.
Because, and I think this should go out to all teams who don't have this kind of tradition. And this is something that's just awesome because, your guys get together the night before a game, and what the hell else can you think about?
Yeah.
Besides the game tomorrow.
Exactly.
In my head, it was always like, I am so excited for this game. these traditions like that you're building, it's like now I got to look forward to Thursday night and how I'm going to connect with my boys on Thursday night, and we're going to, just be together.
Trust me, a lot of the times on Thursday night when Coach Half's not there, that's majority of the talk. It's about Coach Half. Which is fun, and I love it. I love an open conversation coming from this 16, 17-year-old young man.
When they get to drop their guard and you get to know who they are.
Exactly. And then my wife sitting there listening to it, and it's like, man, what a great group of kids when they leave.
And then your kids, like I know my kids, they look at them like superstars.
Yeah. So my daughter, she's shy, but man, ever since I have this Thursday night, she's right in the middle of it. Eating with these kids and stuff. I was like, it's good, because that's how you learn. You take something from this 17, 18-year-old kids, and you put it in your life, and you learn something from it. Yeah, but not. And then I just want to put a shout out too, though, because last year there was a big help from the parents. Yeah. And I think they saw what was coming to their kids, and they want to do something to help out the Thursday night dinners.
Yeah.
And then I really do appreciate the parents that
Pius has a great support system.
It is.
It's a great support system.
I'm not going to lie to you. Like I told you before, leaving St. Thomas to come to Pius, it wasn't like I was going down or going up. It was a level plane there. Like, the support that comes from private school is less headache than anything else.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing though.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this.
I'm excited about Thursdays now, man.
You should. I always invited him to come over, but Frank.
This is.
So here's the deal with Frank. By 6:30, he's in his pajamas. No t-shirt on the couch,
rubbing his toes in the carpet.
Either on the couch or on the bed. At 6:30.
Yeah.
So what makes you think he's going to show up at dinner at 7?
I mean, I'll tell you what. This is a. I'm taking this as an invitation for the entire season.
You should.
Because I love hanging out with the big fellas, the hogs, the guys in the trench. That's
something I did last year too, though. It make something different. We did a lot of dinners at home, but I also take them out to restaurants.
Oh yeah.
Big support from my man down at the Quaff.
Benino.
Yeah, Joe Benino.
That was fun time.
Yeah,
sure.
That was real fun. We take
that kid worked his ass off.
Oh man!
And not only that,
I wish I had that kid one more year.
Not only that, but he gained 25 pounds and kept it on and made himself miserable so that he could play.
Solid kid.
I mean,
what do you mean by made himself miserable?
Because here, and I say he probably played at 215, so it wasn't like he was obese by any means. Mm-hmm. But that kid walks around at 190. Putting the weight on is one thing, but then playing football and going through June, July, August, and keeping yourself at 215, and he would come to me, Coach, I'm just miserable, because he's eating all this food all day long. You know what I mean? And he, he goes, and I was talking to him about playing in college and things like that because. He could play at an NAIA school, if he wanted. He goes, you know what? I can't wait to take this weight off. He was like, I just can't wait to take this weight. And he did. He took it off, probably in, 6 weeks.
Yeah, it was coming off quick.
He had these big puffy cheeks. You
got to do it, though. You got to keep that weight on you.
Like that's another great example of the kid that is willing to do anything for his team.
Yeah.
The drive that he had because the first year,
hold on. His sophomore year, he was a fullback.
Yeah.
And then his junior year, he played guard.
Junior year, when I came in, he played guard.
And then he was a center.
And I'm not going to lie to you, nothing against Benino. It was like a non-athletic kid. When I first came in, it was like, what are we doing here? But it makes a big difference. Like whatever program that Frank had with him to gain the weight, and then not only gain that weight, but the drive, the drive he had to get better. He was doing
hold on,
amazing.
that kid had good footwork.
Yes, he did.
Good technique. Yeah. By the time it was all said and done, you'd watch him. He
was the best center that we have.
He was great.
Yeah.
You mentioned him that he could go play NAIA. So from going from uncoordinated to
I would never He wasn't uncoordinated. He just football. he didn't play as a freshman. He played as a sophomore. He bounced from position to position.
Yeah.
He couldn't get himself settled.
Couldn't get his footing.
He couldn't get his footing. And this thing.
Yeah, it's a little.
I hit the deal. Yep. And then, finally he finds himself on the O-line, and then he gets 2 years, whether it was guard or center.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he was productive. I mean, and he went up against some dudes.
Yeah, he was.
He went up against some dudes.
He sure did. The Seneca guys were a handful.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a lot of teams his junior year. Maryville, that kid, he went up against Maryville.
Oh, yes.
Gave him a concussion.
Yeah.
Was good. He went up against some dudes for sure. He's a tough kid.
Players need
Hold on, he's a volleyball player too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a his dad's
is.
a big time volleyball coach.
Players need to know this.
Great kid.
That hard work is contagious.
It is.
Hard
work, though, has got to be a habit.
It's got to be a habit.
It has to be a habit, And that's what I always tell the old line. When we have our own little group, you got to make running a habit. You got to make lifting a habit. You got everything that you do that for your goal, it's got to be a habit. You can't just do it half-assed.
Yeah, and then if you but if you you discipline yourself to it, you know what I mean. Then all of a sudden it's kind of like, man, I need to do this. There's like something in the back of your head after you've disciplined yourself to do it over and over and over again. That then when you don't do it, it's like you're missing something.
Well, an object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion.
Yeah.
Once you get that ball rolling, your best bet is just to keep the snowball rolling.
Yeah. I want to end on this though. Tell me what our O-line looks like at St. Pius this year, not a personnel standpoint, because we know that could change. This damn thing, I did it again. That could change in perpetuity, but from like a scheme standpoint, what do you see us doing, this year? And what kind of adjustments do you think you'll make from your 3 to your 5A?
Yeah, well, it's going to be big though. I'm not going to lie to you though. Like I was talking to Coach Half about it. He's been at the house twice. We already working.
Yeah,
it's amazing how that guy drink a Red Bull and then keep going the whole time.
Ooh, buddy.
But
he makes my blood pressure go.
He's got a good football mind. He's
but
a
I
great
love
football
it.
mind.
I love the guy because it's get me started though on that O-line though. It's going to be a big change this year. Be honest, I'm gonna be real honest with you though. As of right now, my O-line is not ready for 5A. And that's the honest truth I can tell you though. It's because of the personnel that we have. Until something changed, whatever comes in the summer, and it comes from his program, till we see something change from the weight room, and then it goes into the drive of the kids, what kind of drive that you have,
this is what I'll tell you. Yeah. You're going to have 7 guys that are going to be big enough, fast enough, and strong enough to play. That I'm going to tell you. I'll make sure that happens.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, as of right now, be honest with you, though.
It's not there yet, Manu, but I have 5 months.
And no, I'm just answering the question, though. What do you think is right now as where we're going through the season right now? We are not ready for it.
No. But that's the fun part.
Yeah, it is. It is a fun part.
That's the fun part.
We're not ready for it, though. But their mentality and their drive that I saw in, 2-3 days that I went there, man, that can make a big difference.
And those players are going to be listening to this, and I think it's good that you say that because
it is. I want them. They had a great season last year, without a doubt. That was one of the best offensive linemen scheme wise. That because it's right in my wheelhouse there. What the offense was last year. They had a great season last year. Can we have that this year though? I think it can be better. Yeah. It all depends though, like I said, it all depends on the off-season workout that we have right now because, be honest with you, there's a couple of them are slacking. Yeah, but we cannot, and I emphasize this to them every time I come to way, we cannot go to 5A and you're playing 3-2A ball. You can't.
No.
You can't, no. That's why you got to take the off-season very seriously, because when the summer comes, you're ready to go. And that's why, I told you.
We only got 3 months.
No, and you're right. And that's why I said I was so pissed off, I got to take care of myself.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so pissed off. I have the knee replacement on a time that I need my 7 kids that I have right now to be with me, on off the off the field stuff.
Yeah.
That's what and that was the whole goal. And I'm hoping that I think by next week it'll be ready to go. Yeah.
Well,
So,
there's going to be, obviously, there's 2 or 3 sophomores that I'm looking at,
Yeah.
that I'm like, man, I think this kid.
and I know what kids you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I think these 3 can, and there's even a couple sophomores that I'm looking at that, like, man, God, got great body habitus, but they're just not mean enough yet.
But here's
that's
the deal.
going to come.
But here's the deal, though. Scheme wise, I'm not going to put it out there, but our OC has a good plans that he already presented to me and stuff. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he already talked to Bear about it, but man, it's going.
We had him on the podcast last Saturday.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that was fun.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. So
I'm
he,
pretty
he,
sure-
I'm
he-
pretty
sure that was
he
fun.
gave us an idea
Yeah.
of where his head's at.
It is.
So it's
And I think that what you guys are talking about, moving up class, letting the kids know, guys, you've never seen 5A competition
Yeah.
regularly. So you have to elevate your ability to work hard and play at that level, even though you've never consistently played 5A football.
yeah.
But that's where the coaches part come in, though.
Oh, yeah.
No,
100%.
where I'm getting at those, like, it's just a number to me. 5A is just a number. You still got to play the football that you're playing in 3A, but you got to build a confidence in them before they step on that field.
Yeah.
And that confidence started, right now, what Frank is doing right now with a lot of the coaches in the weight room. And that's the confidence that you got to build in order for you to get to that summer, get ready for 5A. So and then to me, it's still football. Nothing changed.
You've played at the highest
Yeah,
level, so
is that
your phone?
It's my phone.
right.
It's the bomb dropping, baby.
It's still to me it's still football. It's just how you prepare yourself. In the higher class.
Yeah.
And we mentioned it before. It's all about the preparation. What is our captain's going to prepare his coaches this year to make sure these kids are prepared for that.
Well, in our off-season training, I mean, we picked it up. We used to just do 2 to 3 days. We're doing 4 days, except for if they have a day off school, we can't lift. So we're training 4 days a week. They're doing things in the afternoon. So I mean, we're not going to get out work.
I have no doubt that you guys are going to have these guys ready to eat nails when it comes, and the idea that they're in 5A is not going to phase the level of football they're going to play. I have no doubt.
Dude, man, the talent in that weight room.
Yeah,
Oh man,
We got some talent.
it's crazy.
We got some talent.
it's going to be
We got
exciting.
Crazy.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. Anyway, Manu, thank you very much. I
No, man, this
appreciate you
was
being
good. This
on.
was fun. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
this was being good. Up this coming up week, we're gonna have Kat Conrad on.
Yeah, Cat's coming on.
Kat's coming on. So Kat
That
is,
name sounds familiar.
So here, Kat is she's a big time law enforcement agent, and she's in charge of fentanyl. So yeah,
nice.
so she's actually
That's right in your wheelhouse.
well, so she was the investigating officer on Nina's case. So we're going to have her, and then Andrew was the fireman that ran the call.
Well, I didn't necessarily run the call, but because I'm a fireman and you just can't take that out of you. When I showed up, I kind of stepped into that role.
I see.
But I wasn't actually on the
Taking
rig
the
that
call,
ran that
yeah.
call. But you stepped in.
Right, you weren't Anthony.
Instinct.
Anthony Sola was.
Anthony Sola was. That's
was
right.
on
So
that.
we're
So
gonna
you're,
have.
you're just jumping into instincts.
It's instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got Kat Conrad coming on. She'll be coming up after you. And then after that, we got a true crime story coming on.
That's gonna be a cool one.
That's
yeah.
going to be Mike Albanese.
Yeah,
Fired
I'm
up for that.
Excited to hear about Mike.
Yeah,
hear that story.
That's going to be an interesting
And then
story.
then
And we got the big guy coming on,
big guy,
Simone.
a Bear. Yeah,
Bear's coming on.
Yeah, Bear's going to be coming
He's
on.
been ducking me, and so finally I pinned him down.
Pin him down.
I
man.
never seen the guy so busy, man.
Yeah, he's a
I
mover,
don't know how he do it.
mover and shaker.
No, more power to him.
He,
yeah,
it's all he does is
it is.
it's all he does is live, eat, and breathe. you know.
Man,
His work ethic is
it's amazing.
It's
I'm
amazing.
I'm not, man. I just know how.
Here, he's in Atlanta right now at a coach's clinic.
Oh, that's right though, because he left.
and that's one thing you
And you know what? And I hope he's watching this because he needs to come get rid of all that donation in my garage.
Yeah. What's got?
I don't know if you know, man. Brand new shoulder pads that I got. There's about 100 of them from the.
They'll be there till August.
I
They'll
know.
be there till August.
He said, Manu, I'm trying to organize this. I was like, Bear, it's been 4 months, you know, and but it was good though because I was gonna go the other route with it, and I was thinking, but he always said that shoulder pads is hard to come by, you know, every year, yeah. And
So-
you should come take a look at it. You know, I can't say where it came from till after the podcast, but it was amazing.
Good.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
deal. Good deal. All right. Thanks, Manu. Appreciate it, buddy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Good times.
Sounds good.